there are a couple of possibilities. One is a violation of state election law that prohibits conspiracies to promote or prevent any one person's election to public office through unlawful means. The other is possibility of campaign finance violations on the federal level. And the third is an intent to commit tax fraud between Michael Cohen, Allen Weisselberg, with Donald Trump's assent.
Since you guys are both giving us sort of a crash course here in law school 101, real quick, that what you called it a bill of
particulars.
Bill of particulars. What would be the timeline until we would see that?
Well, they have motions due in August. Okay. However, if you're the Trump team, you might want to foreground that motion. You might want to make it sooner to hammer home the idea that Alvin Bragg has not been sufficiently specific about the theory of the case. On the other hand, delay, attack, Donald Trump's modus operandi, could wait until August to do it.
Okay, Dave, let's get you in here. Lisa did talk about the other potential charges, crimes that could have been involved here with this intent that were named here in the statement of facts or charges. Is the DA allowed to elevate state charges by pinning them to a federal crime if it is in fact a federal campaign finance violation?
Lindsay, that is the big question, because Lisa brings up the potential other crimes. You have to have a second crime for it to be elevated to a felony. Well, one of them could be a federal campaign finance violation, but this is uncharted territory. Can a state prosecutor piggyback on a federal law like that? We don't know, and that's part of the danger of this case. Also, it could be a violation of New York election laws, Lindsay said, but that's a state law, and can it apply to a federal race, or would federal law preempt the state law? We don't know that yet. And then there's the tax fraud potential. Now, here's the problem there. Michael Cohen was given more money than he laid out to pay the taxes. So is the state of New York out any money? We don't know, unless the Trump organization claimed a tax deduction improperly. So there are a lot of questions out there. Now, the facts, I think, are pretty damning against Trump in that indictment that came out. But the question is whether this case will make it to a jury, or whether a court will say, no, you can't do these things, so we're going to throw it out.
Hey, Lindsay, can I jump in there for 1 second? Dave was talking about these three crimes. You don't have to show that they were completed. All you have to demonstrate to bump it up to a felony is a specific intent to commit them. So Michael Cohen's case, for example, Dave questioned whether the New York State is out some money. It may be that Michael Cohen's plan to do this was discovered by the Southern District, the Department of Justice, before he ever got to filing a 2017 federal tax return or state tax return.
Wouldn't it be conspiracy then?
Well, definitely there is the possibility, as I noted, the state election law violation here at issue is a conspiracy. People have asked, why didn't they independently charge it? Here's one possibility, because that crime is a misdemeanor. And you can use a misdemeanor to bump up a false records charge to a felony. But if you're asking yourself, why didn't DA Bragg charge this conspiracy? It's because that conspiracy, as large as it was, would have just been a misdemeanor.
All right, Vaughn, let's get over to you here. We know that Trump is always trying to convey strength at all costs. We saw a lot of bravado during his speech last night. Any indication from his inner circle about how he's feeling about all this when the cameras aren't on?
I think it's important to know when we're talking about his inner circle here, Lindsay, is the fact that the small group of folks that do surround him very intimately now, are folks who understand that there is no managing Donald Trump. We watched him operate in the White House, and for now, Donald Trump is going to take that microphone at his free will. He is going to post on his social media account at his free will. He took on the district attorney head on last night. He took on the Judge Merchan, who is overseeing this case. Order even on the former president, despite suggesting that he has yet to even consider it, and that the prosecutors have yet to request it. But for Donald Trump, I think it's worth noting, it was on March 25th, about 10 days ago, in which I had suggested to him it seemed like he had been frustrated by the investigations into him, and he cut me off and said, I'm not frustrated. Why would I be frustrated? I'm winning in terms of his Republican primary. Well, then yesterday, his own attorneys walk out of the courthouse. Todd Blanche says, quote, he's frustrated. He's upset, but he's motivated. So really what Donald Trump says is trying to go up on stage and come from a position of strength and suggesting that this is not going to hurt him and that he is not going to be defeated by it. But on the other hand, his own attorneys have acknowledged that their client is somebody who is being taken aback by the political or by the prosecution into him. And of course, this is he's not naive to the fact that he's got 3 trials likely ahead of him now over the course of the next year.